Jimmy Butler's hanging out with Yao Ming, huh? It's always funny. It's like you kids today, you remember Victor Wembanyama, right? And you're like, look at Victor Wembanyama next to somebody. Makes him look tiny. And back in my day, that was Yao Ming. Shaq, too, of course. Shaq will always make anybody look tiny. I got a Shaq picture right here. Shaq make it all look tiny. He's kind of there behind the toys. But, yeah, he's big. Shaq, definitely up there with the most massive people that got in the interview. Although I will say, I remember that day on the boat. I was on a boat. Lonzo Mourning, intimidating handshake. And a great interview. Love talking to Zoe. But anyway, Jimmy Butler hanging out with Yao Ming. Looks tiny next to him. He's in China, which is why he is not going to be at the Goran Dragic thing this weekend. Love Gogi. So happy for him that he's getting a chance to celebrate that. The dude is like a god in Slovenia. Before Luka, MVP of your EuroLeague champions, the Dragon, Goran Dragic. And just a great Heat player. I love Goran Dragic. I'm happy for him. And hopefully it's a great send-off for him this week because he deserves it. But Tyler Herro, I want to get to this. So Tyler Herro did an interview with Forbes with Matt Issa. And it was interesting. Matt, first time reading your stuff that I'm aware of. But he had a quote I saw perusing Twitter today when I first got to the studio. And I was like, where did he get that quote? I'm like, where is this from? And he goes, and this was what he said because it was a great quote. He said, Tyler Herro on Bam Adebayo adding a 3-point shot to his game. He said, quote, definitely can't touch me in a shooting competition, but I'm excited to see his growth. And I was like, where did he say that? Well, he said it to Matt. Matt's like, hey, mother bleeper. He said it directly to me. But that's a great quote. Can't touch me in a shooting competition. He's probably right. Tyler Herro, is a tremendous shooter. And I would imagine the odds, that would be almost like a, golfing against a pro. And I don't know what the handicap's going to be, but he's got to spot him quite a few threes to make up for the margin. I would still take Tyler Herro. The one that would be exciting, and I'm sure they've done it, but in a shootout, I'd love to see, whatever the number is, but I'd love to know how many times Duncan Robinson and Tyler Herro have gone at it in a shootout and who's gotten the better of that. So anyway, Tyler Herro gave Matt some interesting stuff today in this article for Forbes magazine. And a lot of it focused on, internal health, and it talked about, the growth of the Miami Heat can have within. And this was, one of the things that was kicked around with ESPN in the video we did beforehand talking about Jimmy. Like, they think, oh, well, he'd have had rotten health luck. Now they're going to be a little bit more healthy. Look, there is fact to that, guys. I don't know if it's going to be good enough for the Miami Heat to get over the hump in the East this year. But when they've been healthy, they have been one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. That cannot be denied. I know everybody is kind of sick of the core and wants to see a big flashy move happen, but there are young guys in Jaime Jaquez, in Kel'el Ware, in Bam Adebayo reaching his prime. There are elements of the team that you can be excited about. You can be excited about that while also being frustrated about it being stagnant, and this is why you have barely any national TV games. But anyway, let's get to Tyler's quotes here that he told to Matt. And he said, when asked if the Heat should be continued to viewed in the inner circle of title contenders heading into next season, the guard responded immediately, quote, I don't see why not. We have everything we need. When Herro says that, he isn't simply leaning on blind faith or irrational confidence. He has reasons outside the fact that he plays for one team that you can never truly count out in a fight. For him, it is easy to pinpoint where the growth of the teams like the Knicks and the Sixers may come from. However, with the Heat, it's much more subtle. Quote, I'm really excited for this season. Obviously, there's a lot of teams in the East that they think externally have improved, but I think we've improved internally. He says it may look different, but we have young guys that we hope will continue to get better. Bam Adebayo and I are young guys who are starting to become full-fledged veterans in this league. Terry Rozier is now healthy and ready to compete. And then you have Jimmy Butler, who is extra motivated after not being able to play in the playoffs last season. which I think this is an interesting thing from Tyler, right? Like, I do think for Tyler, one of the things I'm excited about with him is he had a very quiet summer. This was that while the moves of the Heat making, no big splashy moves is maybe frustrating to some fans, it is encouraging because there is not a lot of BS that the players on the roster had to endure. And Tyler's had to do that a lot in his career. I'm not making excuses for whatever. I'm just saying the facts of it. As a young player, there's been years where, he's going to get traded for James Harden. He's said this. Remember, there's a great piece that Izzy Gutierrez did with Tyler. Great profile where Izzy had talked to Tyler about the difficulty of dealing with all that right away out of the bubble. All right, are we going to trade for James Harden? Remember, the Heat had to come out and say, no, not trading for James Harden. Then you had the summer of Spider, and then you had the year of Kevin Durant, and then you had the rumors of course, last year, the most loud with the Damian Lillard stuff, right? And so, he publicly put out, I thought, a pretty good front. He handled it with ingest and had some fun on social media with it. But this is kind of in a nice summer form where it's been pretty quiet. There hasn't been Tyler Herro fodder. There hasn't really been any Heat fodder, to be honest with you. This has been a year where he's just kind of been able to live his life. I'm sure there's been jerks. I'm sure that the eye has wandered on social media from time to time. I know there's been some subtle likes that people have found of things like that. But for the most part, it has been a very quiet summer for Tyler, outside of people realizing that he has a lot of tattoos that they did not know that he had. Which, by the way, I think that it's a good look, the jersey. I don't understand people who are like, why would you get a Heat jersey? It's like, it's the team that drafted him. He's played with them for 6 years. You can't have a jersey of that. In the event Tyler Herro were to end up on another team, I'm pretty sure he's got more canvas there. Like, I think he'll be okay. Everybody. So, we've heard that. Why should the Heat, why should people believe in the Heat? Okay, they're going to be healthier. So people could take that or leave that. Herro also added to Matt, he said, we haven't been healthy yet, but we feel like when we do get healthy, we have a very deep team, a team that's deep enough to make a run in the East and ultimately win the NBA title. So, you see the people that they've had. The Heat have had terrible injury with luck. Herro missed 40 games last year, which was absolutely brutal because, look, Tyler, it's not even Tyler's game, man. It's not like, the playoff questions, whatever. We've seen what Tyler Herro, everybody had said last year, even at training camp. I remember going and Bam had said that, I said, like, well, what have you seen from him? And he's just like, dude, just the decision making, it's snapping, it's going fast, it's efficient. Guy just, it's not even a think anymore. Just the game feel there is for him. And I think that Spo really dug in that one game that they won in the playoffs. Shorthanded, they loved that from Tyler with what he was able to do. Yeah, he got absolutely, snuffed out by Drew Holiday. Listen, Drew Holiday's not, when you don't have Jimmy Butler to terrorize Drew Holiday and you can focus in on Tyler, makes life tough, dude. Drew Holiday can do that to a lot of mother bleepers in the world. He's Drew Holiday. But this was some of the interesting stuff for me, especially for Tyler, because he, I want to, like, what is the thing that he's gauging towards to remedy this, right? And the one thing I like about Tyler always is he does seem to, really gauge the awareness of this stuff. And he talked about some of this in the interview. But, I'm curious about, like, what the physical growth is. Because once you get to, like, 25, it's going to be 25 in the middle of the season. Like, the body changes. You're not quite, we all see the photos on social media. And people kind of, like, can roll their eyes at it because they're jerks. But this is what he had to say about his body weight and what he's trying to do. He said, Herro is working hard to ensure that the theory is able to play out in practice. Over the years, his wiry frame has made it difficult for his body to withstand the rigors of an 82-game season. And it puts in parentheses, especially with how he's willing to sacrifice himself for 50-50 balls. He obviously got hurt very much on a diving for a loose ball against the Bucks, then shooting with a broken hand. That was oof. So he's dedicating himself in the offseason towards remedying that. Quote, My biggest thing right now is developing my body and trying to get stronger so that I can stay as healthy as possible throughout the season. And that really, look, he's had some hard luck ones like the broken hand and even like landing on Jaren Jackson's foot and twisting his ankle really, really bad or hurting his ankle really bad. Yeah, he's had some bad luck ones that have come through, but just knowing that he's going to do whatever he can to have that durability hold up, it'll be huge. It'll be huge. That they need him. The team is not better when, Tyler Herro is going to be missing 40 games. You need to have that kind of punch there for your team. Are there thoughts that, is it the best with the starting lineup? That's up for debate. Even Udonis Haslem has mentioned, would they be better with Tyler going back into a 6-man role and being that incredible cook off the bench? Probably not going to happen. I think it's one of those issues where, you can debate it up to the high hills, but it's not one that's really going to be it's not one that's really going to be out there. So him and Terry Rozier as a backcourt, yeah, I get why it has its questions, but it's going to be the backcourt, and they got to figure that stuff out. He also says this, as for adding my strengths, I really want to sharpen up my efficiency to maximize my abilities as a scorer. Matt writes, becoming functionally strong will surely aid his crusade, as Herro's least efficient scoring region is at the rim, 6th percentile in accuracy. The area of the court where having great strength and body control is the most useful. That to me it's the secret sauce to Tyler Herro, right? There is a level of Tyler Herro of him attacking the basket with a ferocity that he needs to have. He's such a pure shot maker in that he can get he likes to have things so clean, and it is really pretty watching him shoot the basketball and all the drills that he puts himself through. But I think there is an element to Tyler almost needing to be a little bit more, I almost want to say reckless, which I know people will look and say, well, he's Mr. 25 points on 24 shots. I get you. It's not a matter of just putting up the shots. It's almost there has to be almost a lack of conscience that has to go there, because it feels like with him it always has to be clean, and sometimes if the shot's not there, then just the shot's not there. He doesn't really go out of his way to find any other places or holes or places to go and change that dynamic. It's just well, it's an off shooting night, can't get any clean looks, and that's that. So other than maybe having the best floater in the league, that baby float, the flamingo, tremendous. Love that shot. I could watch that all day. I could watch a montage of Tyler Herro floaters and just chow down on Sour Patch Kids watching that. Oh, that's good stuff right there. So, yeah, I thought this was all really great stuff from Tyler. And it also mentioned that, Bam and him didn't get to work out as much together because Bam was obviously with Team USA, but I thought a lot of good stuff. Talked about some of Tyler Herro's business stuff. He's got green clogs. I don't really understand that, but he wears cooler clothes than I do. I'm an old man at this point. So either way, great interview. Good job by Matt. Go check out the whole thing. It's in Forbes. Matt Issa, great job by him. Good interview, and check that on out. Looking forward to Heat season getting here.